study your genetic code, then give it to the highest bit of soul. Push out the fire like a Bendigo. The devil diggers cause we been the gold. Melanated bodies on the sugar boat. Document December with no winter coat. Now they buck breaking on the whipping, posting for the foreign language on the nigga throat. Hella black, hella proud. A vibe you can feel when we come around. A Babylon fear us and gun us down. The skin is the weapon that harness power. I pity the fool if he act funny. Disrespecting the queen, we act nutty. Came through with the Mac dumping, all praise due to the black woman. Unapologetic, fuck who got a problem with it. My life in the scripture. It happened cause I said it, now I manifested, so I be painting a picture. Niggas breaking bread and they drinking blood now. That shit look like voodoo. I feel empowered every time the sun come around. Do you?
They hate me cause I'm black. They hate me cause I'm proud. They hate me cause I'm black. They hate me cause I'm they hate me cause I'm black. They hate me cause I'm proud. They hate me cause I'm black. They hate me cause I'm black and I'm proud. Black and I'm proud. I'm black and I'm proud. Black and I'm proud. They hate me cause
This is that energy, niggas couldn't put a price on it, no dollars. I am T'Challa, Kamanga, wrapped up in the finest linen, no collars. All the gods the same, Jesus, Jehovah, Kukulkan, Buddha, and Allah. All war or names, just to separate our people, divide and conquer. So much more to gain, cause we suffer through all the rain, through the hunger and all the pain. Still we open up doors to things, cause we are the people, under the eye of the eagle, ready to ride on the evil, that shit I've been trying to teach you. Dying to reach you, cause nobody fly than regal. Yeah, black and I'm proud, never lacking a lot. I created that bullshit, so God I'm allowed. If you on that bullshit, it's whacking them out. Booking these shows and we packing them out. I don't act for the clout, you know what I'm about. System designed for us not to get out. We must be divine, I'm not finna doubt.
They hate me cause I'm black. They hate me cause I'm proud. They hate me cause I'm black. They hate me cause I'm black and I'm proud. Black and I'm proud. I'm black and I'm proud. Black and I'm proud. They hate me cause I'm black, black. They hate me cause I'm proud, so proud. They hate me cause I'm black. They hate me cause I'm proud, proud, proud.
Ah.
They hate me. They hate me cause I'm black. They hate me cause I'm proud. They hate me cause I'm black.
Hey, 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 how y'all doing this evening? This is AMPspirationTTV, and I am your host, the Plum Queen. Well, it is Moon Day, Monday, the first day of the week, and of course, guys, you know I appreciate y'all giving me all of your time and your energy. Well, we are back. We are back. I know I've been on a small hiatus. I appreciate you guys' patience. I also appreciate everyone who sent out my well wishes and condolences and prayers and chants and positive energy for my family and I. I did have an aunt who died a couple of weeks ago, and I appreciate everyone, you know, giving me that positive energy. It definitely helped, you know, me, so I can, you know, put out that positive energy for my family. And because of that experience, this is why we are having tonight's show. I've definitely been to a few funerals in my life, but I've never been in the position where I could see the background stuff. You know, what goes on with the family when, you know, when they die, and assets and things of that nature. And I did some research, and I have some few tips and pointers that I feel that would be very important to anyone, especially for us in this community, because as we all know, as melanated people, when it comes down to deaths, a lot of us don't know how to act. We get a little ignorant when it comes down to assets, when we think about money and properties and cars and things of that nature, when someone dies, everybody seems to want a piece. And a lot of us are not educated on how that goes about, which is why you have a lot of infighting and everyone, believing what it is that they're entitled to and things of that nature. So I feel like it's very important that these things get tackled before the death, because while you're dealing with death, you're mourning. You're dealing with the fact that your family member is no longer here in the physical. Especially for those who subscribe to religion. You definitely, have a different perspective than I do when it comes down to death. So to make your lives a lot easier, it would be best to prepare, for this, because I don't care what walk of life, that you walk, death is certain. Everybody knows that. You're born and then you die, as far as in the physical sense. So everyone has to deal with that. Like I said, it doesn't matter what walk of life you choose to walk. So we need to be prepared for that. Life isn't like it was back in the days where you only thought about death, with your elders. Now, people are dying at all ages. Children are dying. Teenagers are dying. Young adults are dying. People in there, my aunt was only 48 years old. She didn't make it to 50. No one was expecting her to die. So we need to start being prepared, for these things. Okay, so like I said, I have a different perspective, on death. It is my, my perspective that, death is an illusion as far as, who we truly are. Yes, this body definitely has to die. It definitely has to go back to the ground. But who you are, your spirit and your soul, is who you truly are, and that never dies. We are energy. So energy never dies. It only transforms. So that is how I believe. So my aunt is either moved on to where, to her next stage, or she has to come back, to make sure she makes right on what, whatever it is that she was supposed to do in this life. So that's how I believe. Okay, so I did a little bit of research and got some printouts and little tips, like I said, for you to be prepared, if someone was to die in your family suddenly or, or otherwise. So all of this stuff is Googleable. Okay. I did not do, extreme, extensive, research on this. So I said I'm going to give you some tips, and this is something, that, you guys should definitely do your own research on, because everyone's situation is different. Okay. So I pretty much typed in, because in my family's case, my aunt, she was married, but she didn't have children, and her spouse, wanted to include the family in it. So it was a little different, in the situation. So I'm going to read off some of these things. So it says, here are a few tips and things that you need to have, to prepare for a loved one to die. Writing a will and testament. A will is pretty much a document that states, while you are alive, while you are in your right mind, what your wishes are, for your burial, your assets. You are dictating what you want done and how you want it done when you're not here, to make those decisions. Because once you're gone, everything starts to become speculation. Everyone can say up and down what they feel that person wanted to give them, what that person had in mind. But the fact of the matter is, you will never know, because they are not here to speak for themselves. So this is why having these documents are extremely important, because this is what stops fighting. Everyone can have their own feelings, but whatever's in black and white, you cannot fight that. So this is why you need to make sure you keep these things. And and I don't care what age it is, what age you are, you need to have something, like this, to make sure that whoever it is that you leave behind, they know what your instructions are. Okay? It says, fill out the beneficiary forms. Okay, a beneficiary is someone who you designate, to take over your assets. This is somebody that you assigned, to be in control, whether it be on your pension, your 401k, whether it be your house, any other things like cars, other properties, land, any of those things. If you sign somebody as a beneficiary, they by law, those things belong to them now. Okay? And that's a legal thing. So if you don't want, like I said, a whole, you know what I'm saying, people trying to fight over who's supposed to get this and who's supposed to get what, you sign a beneficiary. For instance, if my mom dies, I am her beneficiary. I am in control, you know what I'm saying, over her estate, you know what I'm saying, all of her finances, any property she have, anything with her health, anything, I am in charge of that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do have siblings, you know what I'm saying, but some of them are from her marriage and others is from, you know what I'm saying, my father's side. So for me, I'm not going to have I don't have to really spread out and, you know what I'm saying, have to consider too many people. My mom has these things set up and all I got to do is follow suit. But see, in my aunt's situation, that wasn't the case. She didn't have children. So now my aunts, you know what I'm saying, are her next of kin, which is something that I'm going to talk about as well because, you know, there is a big, it's not very clear, you know, in some cases what next of kin, you know what I'm saying, is. So I'll keep going. You need to prepare for your funeral. Okay, so however it is that you feel that you want to die and however that wants to be carried out, you need to prepare for that. If you want to be cremated, prepare for that. You know what I'm saying? Call the proper places, you know, to get that done. You know what I'm saying? From what I've seen, $10,000 seems to be the average or the minimum that you would need, you know what I'm saying, for a funeral. Okay, so you need to make sure you have at least 10 stacks of some life insurance to make sure you can pay for that. So if you want your casket to be this way and you want it to be you want the headstone to say this, you know what I'm saying, however it is, you want it to be at this church, you know what I'm saying, you want whatever it is, however it is that you want to go out, you need to prepare for that. Okay? Life insurance, like I just mentioned, is extremely, extremely, extremely important. You do not want to leave your loved ones with that $10,000 bill to put you away. Get you some life insurance. You do not know when your time is done. I was in a car accident at 22 years old. I could have died. Thank the universe that I didn't. But had I died, my mom did not have $10,000 to bury me. She was not expecting her 22-year-old daughter to die. So luckily for her, she didn't have to figure that out. But now that happened, she definitely has a life insurance policy, you know what I'm saying, out on me as soon as that happened. So if anything was to happen to me, I don't have to leave that burden on her. Granted, she's my mom and all that good stuff. And of course, that would be technically her job and all of that. But as her daughter, I do not want, you know what I'm saying, to leave her in a financial situation that she may not, may have a hard time getting out of simply because of my untimely death. So get you some life insurance. Everybody. I had even, in another video, I was talking about how life insurance, you know what I'm saying, may be a way to help to stop police brutality. Because again, when you have life insurance, those insurance companies have to pay out. Think about it. If your whole family, if you have a family of 10, and every last one of y'all had life insurance, think about that in the black community. If every black individual had a life insurance policy out on them, I promise you them cops won't be so quick to shoot you. Because now they have to end, you know what I'm saying? Because the system works together. So now those those insurance companies are going to lose out on some money. If every time a black person gets shot and they got to pay out, well, they're going to rethink that. So life insurance has several different, you know what I'm saying, advantages to that. Get you some life insurance. Okay? Prepare your health care and documents. Now, I'm going to switch that up. And the reason why I'm switching that up is because I have individuals like Danny Parrott on, I hope I said your last name right, on the feed right now. He's an herbalist. So see, if you deal with a gentleman like this, you won't even have to worry about your health care. Because you'll be healthy. And more than likely, you know what I'm saying, dying of natural causes will be, you know what I'm saying, in your future. But you need to have all of those things in play. Because what if, you know what I'm saying, you get too sick and you can't, you know what I'm saying, tell, you know what I'm saying, the doctors or whoever what it is you want? What if they tell you that you need to be on life support? You know what I'm saying? Now, some people, you know, want, no matter what happens, you do everything that you possibly can, you know what I mean, to keep me alive. So you do that. Then you have other people, you know what I'm saying, who feel like they would prefer to die than to live incapacitated, or having someone having to feed them, having somebody to have to, you know what I'm saying, clean them up. You know what I mean? Some people feel that way. They're so prideful that if they can't take care of themselves, they don't want anyone else doing it for them. So they would prefer to die. So you need to have all of these things set in writing. So everyone knows what it is that you want when you leave here. Because I'll say it again, once you are gone, everything is speculation. And it puts your family in the position to fight over what they think you would want. And 9.5 times out of 10, what they think you want is what's going to benefit them. Most people don't really care, you know what I'm saying, about their loved one's last dying wish. They care about what they want from that person. This is just a fact. And it definitely happens a lot in our community. We definitely need to do better, which is why, you know what I'm saying, I'm talking about these things. Okay? So it says, I typed in something else and it says, follow these steps to financially prepare for death. As I was saying about power of attorney, you know, name financial and medical powers of attorney. Estate attorneys recommend all adults to have these in place. Like I said, creating a will. Ideally, every adult should have one. A financial planner or anything like that. And of course, life insurance. And then they also have a few documents that you need to have. A trust. Like I mentioned before, a power of attorney. Power of attorney is someone who has the power, you know what I'm saying, over, you know what I'm saying, your estate or what it is that you want. Okay? They have to, you know what I'm saying, they have the right to make choices. So you need to think about that. Think about if you have a big family. You know who in your family is responsible and who's not. You know your peoples. You know if something was to happen to you, how each one of them people may potentially act. So picking someone as power of attorney is extremely important to make sure that what you want is carried out. Okay? Healthcare power of attorney, living will, like I said, HIPAA release, and a letter of intent. Okay, these are documents, you know what I'm saying, that you should have, you know what I'm saying, to make sure you are prepared for someone's either untimely death or, you know what I'm saying, or I don't want to say schedule because that sounds kind of crazy, but someone that you know what I'm saying, is potentially going to die. Okay? Now, like I said, being the next of kin, there's speculation, not so much speculation, but, you know, what really is a next of kin? Because like I said, your next of kin can be anybody, especially if you don't have children, if you're not married. And this is why this is important, because that's where all the extraness come in. Because, of course, if you're married, it's obvious that the spouse, you know what I'm saying, you know, receives everything. If you have children, you know what I'm saying, and no spouse, it is obvious that your children, you know what I'm saying, get that. But what happens when you don't have either one of those and you've left with nieces and nephews and sisters and brothers, people who technically you're not supposed to take care of, technically has no real right to your shit, to be quite honest, you know what I'm saying? So how do you designate, you know what I'm saying, who gets that and who's what? This is research, so it says, what or who is next of kin? Next of kin refers to a person's closest living blood relative. The next of kin relationship is important in determining inheritance rights if a person dies without a will and has no spouse and/or children. The next of kin may also have responsibilities during and after their relatives' lives. For example, the next of kin might need to make medical decisions if the person becomes incapacitated, or takes responsibility for their funeral, burial, arrangement, and final affairs after their relatives die. The term next of kin is sometimes interpreted in a broader sense to include the spouse or anyone who would receive a portion of the estate by the laws of descent and distribution, if there will be no will. In this context, next of kin would include a spouse, a person related by the tie of legal marriage. Okay, so next of kin, will you please leave those items in the comments? I surely will. What I'll probably do is I will screenshot what I Googled, and I will send that, and I'll put that in the comments so you guys can, because there were several different articles and, information that I came up with. So I kind of just took a couple of things, so I could paraphrase, so I won't be here lecturing to you guys all night. So, but all of this stuff is Googleable. Everything I pretty much just typed in, what did I type? I typed in what is next of kin, and I typed in how to prepare for death when there's no spouse and no children or a will. I typed all of that in, and then it gave me, a bunch of options, and I clicked on a few of them. Okay, so back to the next of kin. So here's another thing, my people. So everybody thinks, oh, I'm the next of kin, so, I'm about to get this bread. I'm about to get all this. But see, when you have more, the more responsibility you have. See, it's not just you getting, everything. You're also responsible for handling certain things. So you can't just grab people's shit. You have to pay for that funeral. You know what I'm saying? If they have a house and that house has bills and debts, guess what? Those debts become yours. So rethink, there's a lot of people out here that just wait, they just waiting for that payday, but you have no intentions of understanding or taking care of the responsibility that comes along with that. Because unless you are rich, or come from a wealthy family, yeah, people still got bills to pay and responsibilities. Especially when you're talking about houses and cars. Yeah, see, those comes with notes and mortgages and light bills and gas bills. Yeah, all this stuff that still needs to be maintained if you're going to hang on to this property. So make sure that you're prepared to take care of that, as well as reap the benefits from those assets. That's something that a lot of us don't think about. We're only thinking about what we can get out of it, but not really thinking about what it is to maintain it. This is a problem. This is where some of those issues come in. So we got to do better. Okay, so continuing on with kin. Understanding next of kin. Identifying a next of kin is less important, at least legally, if the person who died, the descendant, left a will or was married. A legally and properly executed will covering inheritable property usually takes proceedings over next of kin inheritance and rights. If the deceased person left no will, though their estate automatically passes to a surviving spouse in nearly all states. If the couple is divorced, they might have terminated or altered these rights. If a surviving spouse remarries, it generally does not affect their inheritance rights. In the absence of a surviving spouse, the person who is next of kin inherits the estate. The line of inheritance begins with the direct offspring, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and so on. The legal status of stepchildren and children who are adopted varies by jurisdiction. If the deceased has no offspring, the line of inheritance moves upward to their parents. If their parents are no longer alive, collaterally heirs, brothers, sisters, nieces, and nephews are next in line. So, going back to what I said about having a beneficiary and making sure you know who, you want to do what. Because, like I said, when you don't have children, it's obvious. Husband or a spouse, it's obvious. But how do you decide whether those brothers, sisters, nieces, and nephews and all that, how does that work? How is that split? The next says, in the United States, the right of a relative to inherit or receive property by inheritance exists through the operation of state laws and legislative action. State laws establish next of kin relationships and inheritance properties. The legislative of a state has plenary power, complete authority over the distribution of property within the borders of the state. The deceased estate becomes state property if no legal heir can be identified. So this is why I'm telling you guys to do your own research, because each state differs, with their laws. Now, my aunt, she lived in Massachusetts. I live in Georgia. So it may be different, with, if I had died, or, with her being up there. So this is why I say you should make sure you do your own research and make sure that you go by the guidelines of the state that you live in. Okay? Because like I said, it varies. Next of kin and insurance policies / retirement plans. The recipients of proceeds from a descendant's life insurance policy or their retirement accounts, 401k, individual retirement accounts, and are designated in a different way than other bequeathable assets. The funds from these instruments go to the beneficiary, listed by the descendant on these policies or accounts themselves, if the descendant designated different people in a will. Next of kin status is irrelevant unless the descendant was married and lived in a community property state. If so, by law, the surviving spouse is entitled to an equal portion of any funds earned or accrued during the marriage, unless he or she signs a waiver. If the spouse is also deceased and there are no living listed beneficiaries, those assets may flow to the deceased next of kin depending on state law. Okay? So, this next of kin stuff gets really tricky. It gets really complicated. So this is why having these things set is truly important. This will help your family to not, not to say that you can't stop what people do, how people feel, but these situations can stop a whole lot of infighting. Because people can feel what they want, but facts are facts, law is law. So no matter how they may feel about it, there is no true battle if everything is in black and white. Okay, so I implore you, whether you're thinking about whether somebody's in your family is sick and that might be a possibility, or if everybody in your family is top notch, 1,000% healthy, you need to make sure that if you die today, that your affairs will be in order. Make sure you know who you want to do what and who you want to have what. Save your family, Or at least try, to not put that on them. Because again, when people are grieving, their psyche is not, is not right. They're not balanced. So that's the last thing, you want, because I will never believe that anybody, once they die, wants their family, even if they had issues with them beforehand. On your dying bed, you want peace. I don't care what, walk of life, you live. You want peace and you want to make things right. You don't want to die with regrets. So I can't see any family member, wanting their family to be fighting, and arguing while they're mourning them, while they're supposed to be celebrating their life. Okay? So get these things done. A will and testament. Let it be known what it is that you want. Let that be known. I would even go as far as having this conversation as a family instead of just having these papers here. And then when you die, then people got to find out, what is what and who is who. Especially if you're an elder, I would have that conversation with my family. This is what I want. This is how I want it done. This is who's going to get what. Period. Have these conversations now before issues pop, and all of that. Okay, it's going to be, I personally feel like it'd be great for your soul, because like I said, our souls don't die, so I can't imagine, that you wouldn't be aware of those things. Wanda King, I would love to join you in this conversation. Okay, Wanda, let's see. Let's see if I can bring you in. And if you can, and if I can, we can do that. And if not, Wanda, you can inbox me as a matter of fact, and I can set up an actual interview with you. Because like I said, I'm not very versed in this. I've only had 9 days to observe certain things, for me to bring this up. So, but Miss Wanda King, if if this is something that you're versed in, I definitely want, because this is a conversation that needs to keep on going. Okay, so as a matter of fact, once I end this live, inbox me, and we can definitely set up a time or another date for us to revisit this, because guess what, people are dying every day. So this is something that definitely needs to keep on going, and this is a conversation that needs to keep being had. Okay, so I appreciate you wanting to come on and give us your thoughts, and we're definitely going to set that up. Okay, so guys, that's pretty much what I have for you all. Please, please, please do your own research. Okay, do your own research. I love y'all. I want to say again, I really appreciate you guys, giving me your well wishes and putting out all those positive vibes. It definitely helped. Like I said, me going out there was more of an observation for me. I learned a lot, not only about myself, my family, and like I said, understanding this, what goes on, after deaths. Like, this is definitely not going to happen to me. Whether I have children or not, I'm going to make sure that I have all of this together, because again, I had a brush with death. I could have definitely died at 22 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I was not thinking about that. That was the last thing on my mind. Same with my mom. So, my people, my melanated people, let's start being prepared. Let's start educating ourselves. A lot of the things that we go through, a lot of the issues we have is simply based off the fact that we do not have knowledge. Lack of knowledge is a lot of reason why we fight, and we get into the foolishness that we do because we're not educated. But you have to want to be educated. You have to want to seek these things. People don't realize they can put their children in jeopardy. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? We say all the time how you love your kids and you love your family. You say that. Blood is thicker than water. All of that jazz. So then why don't you prepare? See, those are just words. Put some action behind that. This is important for you and your whole family. Because like I said, the death of this body is certain. This body has to die. It is born and it has to die. So you want to be prepared when it's your time. Because as Christians say, you never know the day or the hour. You don't know when your time is done. So make sure you're prepared. Okay? I love y'all. Again, I appreciate y'all giving me your time and energy. Make sure you guys subscribe to that YouTube so you can get all of this AMPspiration more ways than one. Make sure you also join the Tiffy's Corner wave. I'm definitely still on that. The natural care products. We're returning back to the essentials. We have some amazing new products out. And of course, Black Friday is coming. So we're going to have all them sales. Okay, we have a discounted code so you can get free shipping, and of course you're always going to get your 10% off when you put in that Plump Queen code, and that's for every purchase. I don't know if I made that clear. For every purchase till infinity, all you got to do is put in that Plump Queen code, and you're going to always get 10%. See, you messing around with me, you're going to always get always going to get you some cash. You know what I'm saying? All right. So I love y'all. YouTube, subscribe and hit that bell. Tiffy's Corner. Make sure you join the wave and get your natural care products and return back to the essentials. And of course, as always, guys, continue to love up on yourself, love up on your family, grow, and of course, be inspired. I love y'all.